Before we begin, viewer discretion is strongly advised. This is not gossip. This is not a headline twist for clout. What you're about to hear is based on real court transcripts, sealed witness leaks, and a courtroom moment so explosive it caused audible gasps from the gallery and a forced recess by the judge. Because just 1 minute ago, 50 Cent stood up in court and ended Diddy's defense with a single piece of evidence that no one saw coming. A flash drive. A name. A single question whispered to the prosecution. And then chaos. The courtroom was frozen. Diddy's legal team panicked. One lawyer walked out. Phones were suddenly confiscated. And behind that silence was something much darker than anyone had prepared for. What had started as a slow-burning trial about misconduct and image control erupted into something else entirely. Underground tunnels, masked parties, erased files, NDAs forged in fear, and a vault that may no longer be sealed. What did 50 Cent know? And more importantly, what did he just expose? This is the story. And it's not over. He was a mogul. A millionaire who danced in shiny suits, sold vodka with a grin, and rebranded himself as love. But behind the curated smiles, the champagne nights, and the industry accolades was a world most people weren't allowed to talk about. Until now. Sean Diddy Combs had spent decades building what looked like an untouchable empire. The music, the clothing lines, the Revolt network, the parties with stars from Jay-Z to DiCaprio, it all painted the picture of a man in control. A man who won the game. A man who could buy silence with a contract and erase rumors with a press release. And then came the trial. What began as a slow-moving civil case over contract manipulation and harassment suddenly shifted when federal investigators seized encrypted drives and private server backups from 3 of Diddy's properties. It was the underground footage, the whispers and NDAs, and the pattern of private settlements that triggered something deeper, a new kind of courtroom storm. And that's when 50 Cent stepped in. But to understand how we got here, we have to go back. For years, insiders whispered about strange behaviors behind Diddy's gated parties. Cassie, his longtime ex, had hinted at emotional control and power games, but her allegations were swept away by NDAs and legalese. Other former assistants talked about being loyal, but never truly free. No one could speak on the record, and even those who left the industry wouldn't name names. Why? Because Diddy didn't just control his brand, he controlled the people within it. One former Bad Boy producer told an anonymous Reddit forum, "You didn't work with him. You worked under him. If you asked questions, you were gone. If you disobeyed, good luck working again." An ex-bodyguard, under the pseudonym Black Box 12, leaked a chilling post last year. There were parties. Not the fun kind. I once had to escort a girl who didn't stop crying for 2 hours. I told my supervisor, and they said, she signed. That was it. At the time, it sounded like internet paranoia, until the court unsealed a hidden set of emails from Diddy's legal team, referencing payout structures, location sweeps, and references to play zones at private residences in Miami and Los Angeles. But still, no one had the guts to confront him directly, except 50 Cent. The history between the two runs deeper than rap beefs. They traded diss tracks, made memes, took shots on social media, but 50 always said it with a smile. Fans thought it was jokes. But now we know he wasn't laughing. According to a source close to the legal team, 50 had been silently cooperating with multiple investigations over the past 2 years. What triggered him? The Cassie allegations? The hush settlements? Or was it something he witnessed years ago, something that had haunted him behind the scenes? All we know is, he came to court ready, and when he sat in the courtroom on day 5, front row, face stone cold, people noticed. Did he? He didn't look over once. Let's rewind. 15 years ago, the hip-hop world watched Diddy host Ciroc-filled after-parties in hotel penthouses and private mansions. Behind every red velvet rope was an illusion. Opulence, exclusivity, fun. But ex-assistants say there were 2 layers to those nights, what the cameras saw and what happened behind the sealed rooms. In one leaked group chat, entered into evidence by the prosecution, a former videographer texts, "Yo, I'm not doing freak-offs again. That expletive last week had girls in wigs passed out by the time I left. If that footage ever gets out, yes, freak-offs. That word showed up 37 times in internal messages from Diddy's team. And yes, it was confirmed in court that the term referred to drug-fueled roleplay events where participants were often selected, styled, filmed, and told to never speak of it again. 50 Cent had hinted at it for years, on Instagram, in interviews, even once saying, "Y'all keep letting Puff throw them secret parties, but I'm not showing up unless there's sunlight and security cameras." People laughed. They called it petty trolling. Now it reads like a warning. And then came the footage. According to an insider, what triggered the shift in the courtroom wasn't just Cassie's testimony or the documents. It was a single flash drive, brought in under sealed motion, delivered by 50 Cent's team. Its contents? A voice memo, a clip from 2016, a backup copy of internal email chains. When the judge reviewed it privately, the room was cleared. When court resumed, Diddy's lawyer looked pale. When 50 Cent was asked if he'd testify, he said just one thing: "I just want the truth to be seen." And now, we're seeing it, because what started as rumors are turning into records. And what was once locked away in NDAs and gated mansions is finally leaking into the light. The world is realizing Diddy didn't build a brand. He built a fortress. And 50 Cent just broke the front gate. When the courtroom lights dimmed for a private viewing, only a few knew what they were about to see. Most had only heard the term freak-off in passing, a rumored phrase in the industry, mentioned in gossip blogs and buried in the captions of cryptic memes. But what played on the screen that day didn't feel like rumor. It felt like evidence. According to a courtroom insider seated 2 rows behind the prosecution, the flash drive delivered by 50 Cent's legal team contained one short clip. Less than 4 minutes. Blurry. Dated 2016. But that was enough. The footage showed what appeared to be a dimly lit basement space, red light strips, padded walls, camera equipment. In the frame, a woman in a latex bodysuit, clearly disoriented, slouched on a low bench. A man, believed to be Diddy, is heard whispering off camera. Another figure, masked, is holding a bottle. The audio cuts in midway. "You signed. You know what this is. Keep your eyes open. Smile." That was the moment the judge ordered all media to be sealed. Phones were taken. One juror reportedly wept. It was no longer just a civil case. Now this was about control. And the vault had been opened. For years, insiders talked about the freak-offs like a dark inside joke, something you whispered about but never documented. But now, transcripts, screenshots, and buried testimony were surfacing, all pointing to a pattern. Monthly events held in private suites or underground floors. Women invited, styled, and silenced. Drugs distributed under the promise of relaxation. One anonymous source, a former assistant who filed under Witness 14A, submitted the following sworn statement. "I was told to prepare outfits, wigs, heels, tight latex. Sometimes we were told to match themes. I once heard him say, 'Tonight is obedience.' I never asked what that meant." In another leaked text, sent from Diddy's private line to an unknown contact, he wrote, "Game starts 10:30. Candles, red light. She's wearing the blindfold this time. No safe word." The prosecution had flagged over 70 such messages. But that wasn't even the worst of it. Cassie's testimony, already chilling, had lined up with what the footage showed. She described being led into a soundproofed tunnel, escorted by a security team that acted like they'd done it before. She said the rooms were numbered. One had a mirror floor, another had harnesses, and a third had nothing but a chair, a camera, and a speaker system. "I didn't want to go, but he told me it was just for us, that it would make me stronger." Her quote echoed again and again across court commentary. But when asked if she remembered being filmed, Cassie paused. She said she remembered fragments, flashlights, camera flashes, someone breathing too close, a woman crying in a corner, Diddy whispering commands. The phrase she never forgot? "You belong to me now. Say it." She didn't say it. She froze. And that's when he turned off the light. The footage on the drive also revealed something no one expected. Label executives, celebrity guests, and assistants caught in candid, off-mic moments. One voice, believed to be a high-level producer, was heard joking, "Man, if this ever leaks, we're done. He's got tapes of everybody." That's when the room shifted. Because if Diddy had leverage on others, this wasn't just abuse. It was systemic manipulation. According to the DA's internal notes, obtained via a whistleblower leak, there is speculation that a vaulted archive exists, rumored to contain private footage from more than 30 events, consent forms with missing timestamps, transcripts of conversations between celebrities, stylists, and Diddy's security team, a file labeled "Confirmation, She Won't Talk." That last one broke Reddit. Thousands of users flooded threads, reposting alleged screenshots of Diddy's assistant logs, one of which included a note beside a woman's name. "Last night quiet. Woke up in pink. No ID. Gone by 3:30. Coach confirmed." That was it. No one knew what pink meant, or who Coach was. But fans began comparing the phrasing to other anonymous stories that had floated around for years. Vague whispers from club dancers, Uber drivers, even a retired makeup artist who once told a podcast, "I worked on him once for a shoot. His eyes said he wasn't really here. The girl with him wasn't either." As all this unraveled in court, 50 Cent remained silent, stoic, watching. But behind closed doors, his involvement became clearer. According to one private investigator, 50 had started collecting information years ago, after a 2018 party in Miami where, reportedly, he left early, angry, and disturbed by what he saw. A close friend of his who requested anonymity said, "That was the night. That's when he said, 'I'm done pretending this SH*T is just freaky rich people games. Somebody's going to pay.'" What most thought was industry beef was actually groundwork. And now, it's in motion. The public reaction has been explosive. Diddy's social media accounts have gone dark. Revolt TV canceled 3 upcoming segments. A known stylist deleted all Diddy-tagged photos. A-list collaborators have remained silent. And behind the silence, people are asking, what else is on that drive? Because what was played in court, that was only labeled file_4A, which means there's a file_4B, file_5, file_10, and more. We've only scratched the surface. And if what's coming next is even half as dark, this entire industry might collapse under its own silence. The courtroom was adjourned, but outside it was chaos. Just hours after 50 Cent's flash drive was submitted into evidence, Diddy's team went silent. His lead attorney, Julian Marston, a Harvard-educated pit bull known for PR damage control, resigned from the case without explanation. A vague statement followed. "Due to recent developments, we are stepping back from representation." Social media imploded. Every major outlet began digging.
Tinsy.
The Shade Room, Rolling Stone, even the Wall Street Journal published an alert. High-profile music mogul faces sealed evidence, leak in federal case. But while the headlines circled, those closest to Diddy began to disappear. By the end of the week, one former assistant deactivated her account, wiping all photos from 2015 to 2020. A security manager deleted LinkedIn history and posted a single Instagram story that read, "I was never there." A former model posted a black screen with one word, "Enough." And a celebrity stylist left the country. The FBI confirmed that 2 additional witnesses requested emergency protection orders. People weren't just distancing themselves, they were erasing their existence from his orbit. Behind the scenes, it got worse. A string of internal label emails were leaked on an encrypted chat board. One included a crisis plan from a music executive that read, "Contain the optics. Deny physical tapes exist. Focus on PR, highlight philanthropy." Another, "Do not engage with Curtis Jackson. His documentation is airtight. He knows more than we thought." Curtis Jackson. 50 Cent. Not just a rapper anymore. Not a troll. The man who lit the fuse. And then came the press conference. 50 stood outside the courthouse. black coat, sunglasses. No entourage. No joke. He looked into the cameras and said, "I told y'all. I've been watching for years. This ain't about music. This is about who was protected and who they hurt while they were hiding. Y'all think I just post memes? Nah. I keep receipts." No reporters interrupted. Not one question. He walked off before they could even react. That 45-second clip went viral in less than 12 minutes. 23 million views in 48 hours. The internet turned into a battlefield. Hashtag Diddy Files trended on X, formerly Twitter. Reddit threads exploded with theories about Room 7, freak-offs, and the Miami Vault. TikTok creators dissected old interviews, spotting signs of manipulation and coded phrases. Even old clips of Diddy partying with masked women resurfaced, previously dismissed as eccentric, now reanalyzed with disturbing clarity. One body language expert broke down an old BET Awards interview where a female guest appeared, glassy-eyed, overly compliant, and disconnected. The comment section? Now we understand. And as the public finally began connecting dots, the music industry went into lockdown. Collaborators vanished from Diddy's discography pages. Event bookings disappeared overnight. One luxury brand dropped him as an ambassador quietly, releasing a vague statement. "We support all survivors and believe in truth and accountability." But behind closed doors, label heads were terrified. Because it wasn't just about Diddy anymore. There were rumors, quiet ones, about who else attended those parties. Names whispered in parking lots. A-list stars, executives, athletes. The kind of people who never get named until it's too late. Inside the courtroom, the vibe was shifting. The judge had sealed most of the evidence, but not before confirming that more materials exist that may be relevant to federal inquiry. And that phrase, federal inquiry, was all the press needed. Now the Department of Justice was involved. One prosecutor was quoted anonymously. "This is no longer about one man's misconduct. This is looking more like a network, hidden in plain sight, using money, NDAs, and fear." Meanwhile, Diddy's team tried to control the fire. A pre-recorded video was uploaded to his YouTube channel, a dimly lit, half-hearted monologue where he said, "These lies have gone too far. You know me. You've seen my heart." But the comment section told a different story. Where was your heart when she said, "No safe word"? 50 warned us. The empire was built on silence. It was deleted within an hour. And where was Cassie? She hadn't posted, hadn't spoken. But one courthouse staff member leaked this chilling moment. As the court adjourned, and everyone stood to leave, Cassie turned to 50 Cent, just for a second, and nodded once. Just once. No words. He nodded back. Two people. Two survivors of different wars. Two witnesses to something no one was supposed to see. And as the dust settles, the questions are louder than ever. Who else was in those tapes? How many NDAs were signed? How many freak-offs happened? And who attended? What's in file_10? File_11? File_17? Because 50 said the drive was just the beginning. And the DA just confirmed there's more to come. This isn't the end. This is just the first testimony. When the lights go out in a fortress that big, you don't just find one secret. You find rooms no one was meant to walk into. You find people who were told they'd be forgotten. And now, they're being remembered. Because Diddy may have owned the clubs, the contracts, the cameras, but he doesn't own the truth. Not anymore. And now we ask you, what do you believe? Is this just the fall of one man? Or the unraveling of an entire system built on fear, fame, and silence? Because this wasn't just a scandal. This was a blueprint, a masterclass in control. From luxury homes to locked vaults, from smiling red carpet poses to mask chambers underground. This wasn't chaos. This was by design. 50 Cent didn't just troll. He didn't just clown Diddy for the internet. He sat. He watched. And when the time was right, he dropped the hammer. But if one flash drive could shake the courtroom this hard, what happens when the rest gets released? How many people knew? How many looked away? And how many are still hiding behind billion-dollar walls? Drop a comment below. Do you think Diddy acted alone? Do you believe the drive was just the beginning? Or do you think this scandal will expose more names? Names that were never supposed to surface? We'll be following every sealed document, every witness that steps forward, and every public silence that says more than words ever could.
Subscribe now.
Because this story isn't over. In fact, it may be just starting. And if you thought this courtroom moment was explosive, wait until you see who speaks next. We'll be watching. You'll be watching. And they're terrified you are.